Hi, this is Barbara Lolmaugh, and I've been going to Evident Life Church for over 10 years now, and I call this my family. This is a very close family to me. Wanted to share a bit of a testimony with you. I'd like to share with you my experience of September 11th. I'm sure that each and every one of you has your own memory and story about what September 11th means to you. Mine, I think, might be a bit different. Early that morning, prior to the events of New York and Washington, D.C., I discovered that I was pregnant out of wedlock for the second time. My world as I knew it came to a complete stop. Everything about me was completely numb. Everything became dark and gloomy. I felt dead inside. I was completely oblivious to the terrorist attack until later in the morning. As I watched the events of the morning unfold, the Lord spoke to me in my place of darkness. He said, "As there is much death and destruction in one part of the country, there's new life within you." These were words of hope and comfort for me. These words were a tiny ray of light and hope in the midst of all the darkness of the day. Then the Lord further said, "However, this gift of new life is not intended for you. This baby is to be a gift to a couple that cannot create new life on their own. You are to be my vessel to carry this gift for that purpose." A few weeks before September 11th, I broke off a sinful relationship I had been in for a few months. Even in my sinfulness, God amazed me. Why would He use me, a pathetic, hopeless sinner, to carry His gift? God's plan was to turn a sinful situation into a blessing. Over a period of about a month of searching and inquiring of the Lord, and with many outside confirmations, the Lord led me to a Christian adoption agency. Through this agency, I was directed to a wonderful Christian couple. The husband's a pastor and the wife is a registered nurse, looking forward to being a stay-at-home mom. Early into the adoption process, I discovered that neither the adoptive agency or the adoptive parents could help me with any of my financial needs. Because the adoption agency was unable to meet those needs, I was forced to go straight to God to ask Him for help. What a concept. This gave God the opportunity to show me how He provides for those who ask. If I hadn't had a financial need, then God would not have been able to allow so many of my friends to come alongside me and bless me with their gifts of love. I never believed before this happened to me that God provides our financial needs in this way. I never believed that God would just hand over money to me. I always believed in the hardcore work ethic. You have to work and earn your money. Now that I've learned that God is not that way, God is a God of mercy and grace. God is a God that loves to give gifts. God is a God that loves to show me over and over again who He is. Waiting for the day of the arrival of this precious gift seemed like an eternity. During my maternity leave, the most important thing I wanted to do was to write a letter to the baby. So here's the letter that I wrote. "Dear baby Ray, these words come to you with much love, excitement, and anticipation from me. From the moment I knew of you, I knew that God had a special plan for you. You are a gift to your mom and dad who embrace you in their loving arms. I call you Ray because the words of hope that God gave me when I discovered that God had created you. The day I learned of your new life was a very bad day for our country. It was a day of much disaster and death. It didn't seem that any good could come out of that day. Then God showed me that He had created a new life to bring forth a ray of hope and a ray of life in this dark world that we live in. So from that day forth, I've called you Ray. I love you. I always have and I always will. I look forward to the day we may see each other. In the meantime, I will always have a special place in my heart for you. With love, your birth mother." Throughout this journey, God has revealed to me His love, His mercy, His compassion, His forgiveness, His tenderness, His friendship, His healing power, His provision, and His shield of protection. These have only been nouns in the past. Now they are an experience. September 11, 2001 was a day of pain for me personally and for our country as a whole. My September 11th story ended up being a story about God. It is a story about God has woven His unconditional love, His mercy, and His incredible awesomeness into a situation that was meant for evil. This is a story about how God turned a sinful beginning into a blessing for Him and all those involved.